I'm a dentist and I've been doing this a long time. And so I tell you what's going on in the craziest videos, and we learn a lot of stuff together. Let's go ahead and get right into it, because today's videos are extra wild. All right, you guys tag me in the jaw correction surgery. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is one of the gnarliest things I had to go through during dental school, is learning about this stuff. And a lot of people don't understand that, yes, you do have to completely remove the upper jaw from the whole entire body there. So the first step that we got to do, and obviously we don't do this, oral surgeons do this, but we had to sit in on all these surgeries, is they got to remove the area to get in there. And they actually do completely dissect the whole entire top jaw off of the skull, and it is just floating there. A lot of people don't realize that it's just literally attached by some bones. So they do have to completely do that. And then they screw in all these basically guides and stuff to kind of push and move these things around. You can see them get it in there. They'll screw it in, and that's where it gets locked. And that's actually why we have to kind of lock the jaw down there for a while there and let that bone heal in this new area. And that's why you're not allowed to kind of eat and chew and bite down on it for a while as you're going through the process of getting everything done there. But kind of gnarly to see, kind of cool to see. But yeah, jaw surgery is pretty wild, I'm not gonna lie. Let's see what they said in the comments. Ooh, someone said, I got this done 6 months ago, and you can actually see in his x-ray, you can literally see the metal plates that are in there from the video, which is pretty wild. So I could have gone my whole life without seeing this. I know it is pretty gnarly. In fact, whenever I did this in person, the guy literally came up to me, because you have to like break it off of the jaw once you score and you cut it. And he was like, hey, check this out. Have you ever seen a jaw? And I was like, okay, I don't know what you're talking about. He literally takes his two thumbs and he just goes and just like literally separates the jaw from the bone. It makes this huge cracking sound, which is really gnarly. If you're an oral surgeon, you know what I'm talking about. And I literally was like, what am I getting into? This is so wild. And then he just like kind of pulls the lower jaw all right. It is wild. I'm telling you, it is wild. Someone else said, I had this done. I was in there for 9 hours, double jaw surgery, and it went pretty well, but the recovery is hell. You do not understand how difficult it is not to eat for a whole month. And it is true. It is very, very difficult. It's kind of an annoying thing, but I promise you, it changes their whole entire mouth, their life, their appearance forever. So yes, they always say it's really, really tough, but it's always worth it. So if you have to go through a jaw surgery, don't worry, you'll be just fine. Speaking of jaw surgeries, here's another video you guys tagged me in of a person that actually recovered from it. So it's gonna be really cool to see that, and then go see this right after. All right, you guys tagged me 2 days after double jaw surgery. Oh my gosh, you can just see how swollen up she is. She's got the ice packs to kind of help with the compression there. Now you're gonna start to see the yellowing and everything of the eyes, the bruising, and that's just basically all that stuff leaving your body, recovering, all that, because there was a lot of damage that goes on. I mean, you do push a lot of that, and you can tell that she's obviously, oh yeah, what is that, 4 weeks after? Already going through after a month or so, and she looks awesome after 8 weeks only. And look how happy she is, smiling. And yes, she can finally eat, but you go to the front, I mean, she looked pretty gnarly here at the beginning for sure. People who needed jaw surgery is normally people where their maxilla is really deficient. They have this big underbite, or sometimes they have a really recessed chin and they have a big overbite kind of area. That's what these two things look like. But yeah, I mean, it is something that people always tell me they're super scared of when they need to get a jaw surgery. It is not as crazy as people think. Yes, it is really annoying to go through the 4 to 8 weeks after, but once that happens, your entire body, your life, your appearance is changed. It is really, really cool. So we just saw another video earlier of the actual look of it and how like kind of insane and crazy it is. So this is kind of cool to see the actual recovery of what the body goes through after all of that damage. It's just insane to me that after 8 weeks, your body can magically just heal itself and get ready. The human body is such a cool thing. Let's see what people said in the comments. Did you get a genioplasty as well, or was it just a double jaw surgery? And she said just a double jaw surgery. And people think that because, you know, when you start, you're like this and you go into your, you'd be surprised what different changes can happen in your jaw before and after a jaw surgery when you just get little things like that fixed. And this is great. So someone's kind of summed it up really good here. One of the toughest things I did was go through a double jaw surgery, but I don't regret it. And that's almost every time I hear this, it's like such a big thing for them. They're like, yes, it sucked, I'm not gonna lie, but I loved it and I would do it 100 times over because it changed my life that much. So what do you think? Would you go through a double jaw surgery to get your whole entire face fixed, or would you just completely leave it as is? Let me know. All right, you thought rubber bands hurt the most, but oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Dude, that is so true. Okay, let's go through each one of these and see what we got. So obviously, the first one here, we've got the dreaded headgear. Now, this is a reverse pull headgear that sits on the front here and pulls forward outwards. This is for people with really kind of recessed back stuff that we need to pull forward this way. And so, yes, this is really annoying. I mean, you can get this done with regular braces and rubber bands if you just wear them, but this is something that people still use. I guess people still use headgear. It's a lot rarer than we used to see, so we don't see this very much anymore. But this is like rubber bands on steroids because it's just got like this giant thing you strap to the front of your face. It's pretty wild. Let's go see what the next one is. Ooh, we got a little forceps action here. And so that's basically like these little telescoping springs that when you bite down, so the Herbst, Mara forces, you know, all these things. So basically you kind of push the jaw forward every time you bite down. It kind of pushes you forward there. And actually, I think this next one here, you can see these little things sticking out. That's actually the same kind of situation. It's just you have a rod and tube that comes out. So if you open your mouth too big, that rod and tube come out of each other. And those are just the tubes sticking out. So if she opens her mouth, she can actually slide the tube back in from the top that you're not seeing there. So no, that is not, people were saying like this kind of looks like a medieval torture device. This actually isn't a big deal. It's just she just opened her mouth so big that she's messing with her stuff. You might even be able to see the little rod there, or the tube underneath the rods. You can kind of see them hanging out there. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, yeah, same kind. These are all kind of the same concept, but basically what they are, they're for people who just don't wear their rubber bands, right? And so if you just wear your rubber bands and you do a good job of wearing your rubber bands to fix your overbite, underbite, whatever you've got, then you don't have to go into these most of the time. Now, sometimes we do these in growth cases if they have like one tooth left and then we need to wait 6 months to a year to get started with braces. You can put something like this in early to allow them to correct their jaw issues before they go into the braces. But most of the time, if you just get them into braces, especially like a Damon self-ligating braces, you go right into rubber bands, you'll be just fine. Let's see how many people in the comments absolutely agreed or disagreed with me here. Said my rubber bands hurt worse than my Herbst appliance. And the funny thing is with that, it's actually probably just because you weren't wearing your rubber bands. If you wear your rubber bands and you just continue wearing them all the way through, your body gets used to that pain response. Kind of similar to braces, how your braces hurt the first week and then they stop hurting after. Well, that's because your body gets used to it. So with the Herbst, you can't take it out. So you go through that initial pain and then it's fine the rest of the time. Where if you just have the rubber bands, you're taking them in, you're taking them out, you're not wearing them, you're wearing them, you're not wearing them, you're wearing them. And then that pain just keeps coming back and leaving and coming back and leaving. And so that's probably why you had that issue. Someone said me when I was a kid. That's a different type of headgear. That's the one that pulls from the back here. Headgears are weird. You really don't need them anymore. So try and find an orthodontist who doesn't do headgear. You'll probably be a lot better off. Oh, and someone said, there we go. By the way, they got it because they didn't wear their rubber bands. She's on to something. She must be watching the Bentist videos. She knows. So my advice to you is if you get into braces and you want to avoid having these things, just wear your rubber bands and maybe listen to your orthodontist. All right, so this is a really cool video that you guys tagged me in, and I saw it and I was like, man, this is a really cool way to kind of see the process of this. So this is gonna be a composite bonding veneer pretty much. And so what they actually did was they took a mold of this guy's teeth originally. Then they took that mold and they waxed it up and made a wax up of what his teeth would look like perfectly. Then they made another impression on top of that. And so what you just saw me put all that composite in to this one that's already molded. He sticks it in there. So the areas that they waxed before are now in that impression, and he's gonna clean this up. And basically what you'll see is when he takes it away, it's gonna have all the preformed differences already built in there. So look at that difference. It's much longer. You can really see that over years of wear and grinding and maybe even some acid erosion, that his teeth have changed a ton. And this is actually probably closer to what his teeth look like naturally. So not only is this a great process to show you what maybe something you can do with composite without having to get real veneers and kind of polish your teeth down else, but you can see that, I mean, look at the before there. I mean, the before is like, you can just really kind of see he's ground everything away. He's got spaces, he's got gaps, and that's mainly from just grinding over time. Even myself, I've had a lot of issue with this where I have kind of a tight bite here in the front and I've chipped away some of my teeth and I'm grinding my teeth away. And in fact, I've even looked at maybe a composite veneer or a 3D printed veneer to kind of help me re-lengthen those back up and protect the natural tooth structure that I do have left. But I mean, you go all the way back to the end here and you can see kind of his little after here, and that's pretty dang solid. Now, one of the things that I would say that we always do see, and you kind of see it here at the end, is that the color match isn't the greatest, and that's probably because this guy has decided that he wants to whiten his teeth. Sometimes you'll do a couple shades whiter and let them whiten their teeth using hydrogen peroxide and stuff like that to basically get it to that level of whiteness. But overall, a really good way to do this. It's super quick and easy for the patient. There is a lot that goes into this with the dentist on the dentist side, but nonetheless, this looks like a great job done by this Doctors of Smile guy. And actually, I just looked at the end here. This isn't even a composite bonding veneer. This is actually a temporary dental veneer, a mock-up, to kind of show them what it would look like with the final thing. So that's even more impressive, honestly. Nonetheless, super cool. Dentistry is basically art. It's basically molding and sculpting. It's pretty cool stuff, I'm not gonna lie.
So another reason why the patriarchy sucks, women's saliva is on average more acidic than men's saliva. However, toothpaste companies didn't take that into consideration when they were making the toothpaste, so they are technically made for men and for men's mouths and bare teeth. So for 19 years, I've probably not been cleaning my teeth properly because I've been using the wrong toothpaste because I didn't know that I should be getting a different one that I think it's sodium, that has like more sodium in it to counteract the extra acidity that I have in my mouth.
Now, this thing has been blowing up my internet. You guys have been asking me left and right, and multiple people have been posting about this. Bentist, women are supposed to have different toothpaste than men. Please tell us what's going on. And the answer is yes, but no. The real answer kind of lies in the middle. Now, what really excites me is that we're finally all talking about the real culprit behind all the issues with your teeth, and that is pH and acid. I have been making content about this forever, telling you guys about this. And I think just a lot of people aren't educated on exactly what's going on. Now, first off, she is correct that women do naturally have a slightly more acidic pH in their mouth than men. Now, this normally only deals scientifically due to the xerostomia or dry mouth, aka they have areas due to hormonal imbalances that happen within women all the time. They get drier mouth sometimes. Even in pregnancy, we've heard of and talked about pregnancy teeth and things like that. That's due to dry mouth. That dry mouth, if you guys don't know, your saliva buffers the acid and makes it more neutral, which is what we're trying to get to. Anything acidic wears away your enamel. Anything neutral and above is an area where your body is not going to be attacking that enamel. And your saliva is a huge part of it. It adds all those good minerals back to your mouth and decreases that acid that you're looking for. Now, the next part is a little iffy. So basically she was like, oh, there's only toothpaste for men, only toothpaste for women, and we've only been getting men's toothpaste because there's no toothpaste out there for women. And that's not actually true. You see, a good toothpaste, a actually scientifically formulated good toothpaste, is going to help you stay in that neutral, if not get a little more, that higher pH instead of that lower acidic pH. But it's also going to be tackling a lot of the issues that cause it in general. And unfortunately, with these private equity backed big oral care companies, they're marketing things like charcoal toothpaste. They're marketing things like whitening toothpaste. Those things are more acidic and more abrasive, damaging your teeth even more so if you have this dry mouth xerostomia and a low pH like some women do. And we actually thought about this a lot when we were developing our zero toothpaste at Something Nice. And there was a couple different areas that we tried to attack. So one, we don't have any charcoal, we don't have any damaging stuff abrasive wise, we don't have SLS, which can actually deal with some nasty stuff on your teeth that can cause more acidity out of the bacteria and stuff there. That's another big one. If you guys don't know, SLS is the stuff that makes it all sudsy and suds up. So yeah, I mean, it feels good, but it's actually bad for your teeth and banned in Europe, which is why we got rid of that, as well as titanium dioxide. Another one is helping the culprit, which is the bacteria that cause the acid and the saliva production. So we have xylitol built into this, which was really important because I wanted to help transition that bacteria away from acid production. And also I wanted a saliva stimulant, which it kind of helps with to increase that. And then the last part is the protection of your teeth, which is why we added 10% nano-hydroxyapatite into this toothpaste. And so that allows you to basically, if you guys don't know, when you have an acidic environment, if you have nano-hydroxyapatite toothpaste, and it doesn't matter what brand you use, just make sure it's 10% if you can, and just make sure it's actually nano-hydroxyapatite, not micro or regular like a bunch bunch of brands do. But anyways, if you have nano-hydroxyapatite and you have an acidic environment, this actually works better in an acidic environment. So for women, they really do need a nano-hydroxyapatite toothpaste. A fluoride toothpaste is actually not a bad deal too. Basically, all that does is make the acid resistance increase more. And lastly, if you were really worried about the pH of your mouth, you can increase it by using something like a baking soda toothpaste. And we do have some really cool stuff coming out with this in a couple months. I can't talk about it just yet, but let's just say it's gonna be awesome. So is all toothpaste formulated for men and not women? No, that's not true. If it was actually a good toothpaste formulated by an actual dentist using science-based research, our goal is all the same, because men have low pH just like women do. They may have GERD, they may be eating a lot of acidic foods like lemons and limes. Everybody's drinking carbonated beverages, which is also lowering the pH. So the goal of any oral care company should be the same, and just because you're a woman with slightly lower pH than men doesn't mean that I'm going to attack a toothpaste any differently. I want it to work for everybody, not just you, or not just somebody with a high pH or low pH or whatever. It should work for everybody. So basically, stay away from whitening and charcoal toothpaste. Get something with xylitol, help increase that saliva and help your natural production to buffer that pH. And if you really want to, you can also supplement with a baking soda or something like that to increase that pH. But honestly, you should be fine with something like our Zero toothpaste, and then even more so when we come out with our new products in the future, which I can't talk about just yet, but let's just say it will get rid of the need for any of this, which is really awesome. Overall, I'm just happy we're talking about the real culprit, which is acid. It's not sugar, it's not carbohydrates, it's not all these things. It's acid, because the bacteria eat on the sugar, they poop out acid. The stuff you drink that causes the issue to weaken your teeth, acid. All the charcoal toothpaste are abrasives that, guess what, if you're acidic environment, will hurt you even more. So I'm just glad that we're finally talking about the right and the real culprit. And at least now you know a little bit more about toothpaste. All right, you guys tagged me in this a bunch. DM for your gap tooth at an affordable price. What do you mean by it? Oh my gosh, you are not doing what I think you're doing. Oh my gosh, that is literally, I'm pretty sure, like a Temu drill, and this is definitely not a dental office. Okay, so DM to get your gap tooth at an affordable price. Wow. I do not know what country this is in, but this is illegal in the United States. You cannot do dental work without a dental license, and there is so much wrong with this. I don't even know where to begin, okay? You have three different things in your teeth. You have an outer enamel layer, an inner dentin layer, and then the pulp in the middle. And this is basically ripping apart your enamel layer. And I guarantee you in between that, I mean, we do this very light polishing called IPR between teeth with Invisalign or people with crowding. This is like 10 to 12 millimeters taken away. We can only do like 2 to 3 millimeters, and we're still cautious about that. This is huge. I mean, this is going to absolutely wreck the tooth. It's going to cause all that dentin layer to be, shown in the middle, which is going to cause severe sensitivity and make it super easy for cavities and stuff to form because there's no protective layer anymore. Not to mention the pain. Like, oh my gosh, like anytime you drink anything, it's going to be so sensitive. All that for a gap. That is absolutely wild. Surely some people in the comments decided this was the wrong thing to do. Oh my gosh, somebody says, I got bullied for my gap and now y'all want it. In fact, it's kind of funny. The gaps are very interesting. We have families that come in and gaps are very heretical, right? The whole entire family has gaps, if someone has gaps like that. And so sometimes people purposely tell me to leave it because it's like their family mark, right? And then other people absolutely hate it. And they're like, I want to get this closed ASAP. Here we go. We're finally getting into the good stuff here. What's wrong with people? And that's so dangerous. You could hit a nerve. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. You can go deep enough to where you actually get into the pulp or the nerve of the tooth. And at that point, you have to get a crown, a root canal, all of these things. Oh my gosh, she caught it too. She said, this is a nail drill off of Sheen. Or shine, however you say that. That is crazy. And then the patient next to her is getting her nails done with the same tool. I did not just witness this, guys. This is so bad. This is so bad. Please, 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 for the love of God, do not do this. Okay, if you want a gap, you really want a gap, we can create a gap for you if it's that big of a deal, okay? And it's not that hard and it would take no time at all to make a gap if that's all you want. So go to an orthodontist or something, because this is gnarly. We can't be having this. I don't know. What do you guys think down below? Is this crazy, or is this just the world we're living in these days? Some shine nail drill gap tooth stuff. That's wild. All right, you guys tagged me in this, said, Bentist, what the heck is going on? And all I'm seeing is a tooth there. Was he pulling something? What the? I know what's going on here. That looks pretty gnarly though, doesn't it? And you're like, what the heck? How did he get that? First, you're probably thinking, oh, he got a bunch of floss stuck down there or something like that. But what if I told you he actually has a hole in his tooth? That's right, this is Teflon tape. So that is either an implant situation, it could be a root canal situation, something where he has a hole that they have just kind of packed in temporary stuff there. So what they do is they pack all this Teflon tape down inside there, and then they put a little plug over the top of it, or a screw or something like that. And so my guess is this could even be a denture. Am I looking at it there at the bottom? This could be an actual denture. And so if this is like a denture base, then basically that's where the screw will go to screw it into the implant supported denture there on the bottom. These could be all fake denture teeth that we're looking at here. And we don't even realize it. And so no, this is not actually something coming out of the tooth there. It's not a problem. It's more than likely, like I said, that denture that is supported on an implant base, and then they're snapping it in there, and that's where they screw it in at. And that's just a little temporary plug there with the Teflon tape. Let's see what people said in the comments. Someone at least got that settled. They say, bro, why is Teflon tape there? And someone said, no, it's not. It's only to cover implant screws. So that's probably exactly what I was just saying. It's probably just that implant. And I don't know why people are talking about optic nerve. You know, it's definitely not the optic nerve. If anything, a root canal nerve. I don't understand that. And then someone says, why is nobody talking about the huge black hole? What black hole? I didn't even look. Let me take a look. Oh yeah, there is a huge black hole. That confirms it actually. That is another implant screw area that you see there. That area to the left there. That is actually an implant screw that just fits right in there. So it's probably an all-on-4. So there's probably 4 screws that you can't see that he's putting in there. Good catch. Good eyes, good catch. You could be a dentist one day. Either way, it still looks pretty gnarly. It scares people. Don't be too scared. It's not really a big deal. This is happening all the time, all over the place, and it's pretty normal. So I think we finally uncovered what was going on here, but now we know.
It's really not that bad. It just needs a little shaping. To the salon.
You guys tagged me in this again, and it was like, oh, another person getting turkey teeth. I can't believe that this is still a trend. Now, this doesn't look as bad as what you normally see. Normally you see them shave down to little nubs. They have still removed a ton of dental structure, which obviously I'm not a huge fan of. But if you don't like the shape of your teeth, there's only one way to change them. It is to shave them down and do some stuff to them. So hopefully, I mean, they look like they actually did a pretty good job on the shape of them, the color of them, all that type of stuff. You know, something to worry about, you know, here, obviously, that I try and talk to people, and they do look good. I mean, she's happy, she's good, all that. Now, that being said, I do think that there's still something really important about the notion of, if you like the shape of your teeth, like we can go in the beginning here, you know, when she's got her mouth out and you can kind of see exactly kind of what's going on. You can see just kind of how they've been worn down a little bit. And this is actually not as bad as what I've seen some people. It's pretty bad, right? Now, she could have had really good shaped teeth and maybe just needed 6 months of Invisalign or something. And she could have done all that. Now, the problem is she's got a crown on every single one of these teeth. Every single one of these teeth. You know how hard it is to take care of one crown without it breaking or popping off or having issues or getting sensitive or biting hard on something. And you do that 32 times across your entire mouth. You are begging for literally something to go wrong almost every single year, you know. And the problem is if you're going to Turkey, I don't know if she went to Turkey or anything like that, if she really did, but if you go to Turkey and you fly 10 hours over there to get it done, and then one pops off, you're not going to fly 10 hours back to get it put back on, right? You're not going to do this every year for the rest of your life to maintain this, because it's going to take a lot of maintenance to keep these things good. And so you're going to have to go to the dentist here in the States anyways and probably pay a ton of money to get all the things that maybe they did wrong fixed regardless. So the best case option is, if you like the shape of your teeth, please just go get braces, get them fixed, get Invisalign, something like that. If you absolutely hate the shape of your teeth, I would only do these front couple. Okay, I would not do the full entire mouth like she did, because it's just going to cause issues long term, and it's just more and more things to cause problems. I probably wouldn't even do the lowers. I would only do the teeth you absolutely felt like you had to get the results that you need, because once you lose your natural tooth structure, you are never getting it back. And hopefully over the years of me doing this, we've been doing this for like 6 years now, some of you guys have learned this, and I know a lot of you guys are probably going to confirm in the comments. Let's see how much good we've done so far. Someone said, imagine damaging your actual teeth and risking high sensitivity and pain for the rest of your life. Just get composite bonding, and if you need whitening in a better shape. That's what I'm talking about, guys. I've been telling you guys, just get some with these new 3D printed veneers and the composite bonding. You do not need to be doing turkey teeth anymore. It is not that area. And it's funny that she actually put back and she was like, you just said risking high sensitivity pain. It's a risk, doesn't mean it's gonna happen. That is not my favorite conversation there. That's a bad one. Just found out about veneer breath. A lot of people don't know about veneer breath, but yeah, food, gunk, stuff gets stuck in there. It's normally because people think that because they have fake teeth all over the mouth, they don't have to like do any cleaning anymore. They can just do whatever they want. And so all that gunk and nastiness still builds up, causes bone loss, inflammation, pain, nasty gums. It's bad. Just trust me, just do what I say, please, because I kind of know what I'm talking about. Either way, it's done now. They look good. Just for this girl, please take care of them. Go to your regular dental cleanings, treat them as real teeth, and then hopefully you won't have as many issues, you know, as you could have had. So just, yeah. If you see a video here and here, that means you should probably like it because the YouTube algorithm thinks you will. Make sure to like and subscribe. I'm the internet's dentist, the Bentist. We'll see you next week. Also, click that link for something nice company down below. The best oral care products in the world. I promise you, you're gonna love them. See ya.